Welcome to the Unapologetic Podcast with Kaitlyn Talamante, hosted by LadyBoss. This is a space where women rise, own their power, and stop playing small. We get real, we get raw, and we get fired up about confidence, health, business, and life. If you're ready to step into who God made you to be and unapologetically live your best life, then girl, you are in the right place. Let's do this.
This is what unapologetic looks like.
This is my era. I'm walking boldly in my purpose. I'm done dimming my light.
I'm done playing small. God didn't create me to blend in. I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. The old me was surviving. The new me is free.
We rise together.
Here's to living life unapologetically. Hey ladies, and welcome to another episode of Unapologetic. I am so excited to introduce our guest to you today. I know personally, my children, especially one of them, has been pushing all the buttons. To a max, if I'm being honest with you ladies, he snuck out the window the other day. He is 7, okay? No. So I'm really excited about this conversation today because we're going to talk about the respect reset and why your kids are not listening. So selfishly, I need this myself and how you can lead your kids in your household like the queen you are. Tracy Huff is the confidence coach. She helps exhausted women stop yelling and start leading and feeling heard at home. A 4th degree black belt, an Army veteran, thank you for your service, by the way, and the creator of the Power Under Pressure method. She trains parents and leaders to communicate with confidence, regulate their energy, and own their voice. Author of How to Punch Failure in the Face and How to Raise Kids Who Listen, Tracy brings 20 plus years of proven results. And Tracy, I need your help. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I am so glad to be here. And jumping out the window is a thing with boys. I'm just gonna say, my older son, I was like on an episode of CSI because I knew he was sneaking out, and my neighbor caught me. He's like, "What are you doing?" Because I was outside the window inspecting the bush. I'm like, "Does that look like a footprint to you, Marvin?" I said, "He is sneaking out of the house, and I can't catch him." And my husband was in Iraq at the time, and I'm like, "Could you just call me at random times during the middle of the night because I'm going to catch him?" And I'm going to tell you this. One night I went in there. I'm like, "Oh, this is the night." And I walk in his room and I snatch back the covers, and he was there. And I was like, crap. So years and years later, so this was when he was in middle school. Years and years later, he's like, "Mom, I just got back in the room." I said, "Man, I knew it. I knew it." So it is a thing. It's a thing that they do to push us and catch us. So always, it's not you. It's not just you. It's not just happening to you for sure.
That makes me feel a little better. So I've got 2 boys. I've got a almost 16. He'll be 16 this month, and 7. And my 16-year-old, I don't know how I got lucky with him. He is amazing. He is God-loving. He is a gentleman. Like, he had a little date with his girlfriend the other day. He walked her to the door after shower, right? And I'm just like, oh, goodness. He would never in a million years think about sneaking out the window. My little one on the other hand, again, he's 7, and he's like, bye. I'm like, he's taking himself down the road with a suitcase. He's ready to hit the road.
Well, I think that's the beauty of, like, I'm always glad that I had 2, right? Because I have 2, and that was my older son that did that. My younger son was the one that I always was like, he's my special one. He's like mine. And thank God, because if I only had been the mother of James while I was raising them, I would have gone friggin' crazy. Right. And I think it's okay to admit that because we're raising humans, like human beings, and they're all different, and they all, they're human beings. They listen, they communicate, they have different desires, all of those things. But when there are kids, we just think of, why are you making my life so difficult? Like, why can't you just follow the schedule? Like, that's the mind space that we get in with them. So I think having 2 helps us see, like, the breadth of the possibilities, right? And gives us the opportunity to look at our kids with, yes, he is independent and he's on his own and he's making bold decisions, instead of, you're sneaking out of the house and you're driving me crazy, like framing it and what are these skills that I'm seeing, right? And what can I do to foster them? And that shifts the energy with the conversation. Things I learned after I wanted to punch, that's James in the face. I have a really good fast jab cross because when I started training, James was like my poster boy on every single target in the karate school. He did this again. So yeah, so it's definitely the opportunity in the struggle for sure.
Yes, it is. It's hard to flip that because I will definitely say, like, my younger one, I see me in him. Like, he is very much more independent and ready to go. And it's like, I'll move out tomorrow. I'm like, no, you won't. You're 7.
That's right.
He's driven, like, he's got goals and ambitions and wants to go to school and all the things. And I'm like, but I might have to give him a little, like, you can do this
Yeah.
on your own.
Yeah.
So it is,
Yeah.
you're right. Like, it is really reframing it and looking at
And like where you can fill in the gaps because they come from you. Right? They're part of you, they're part of your husband. And I always said like my older son, he was the student athlete. He was the one that has all my aggressive tendencies with none of my smoothing, right? And then my younger son had all of my smoothing where it wasn't me that finally helped him find initiative. It was his girlfriend, which was hard, right? To like let another woman and her family be that piece that I wasn't for him. But I had to like be okay with, but all of the things I love about him is what created that for him. It's really like stepping back and reframing how we're looking at, I want to say optimistically, maybe the glass half full, but where you can fill in the gaps with who you are as their mom. Because whatever happens, you will always be their mom. And whether you take the role on or don't take the role on, you will have a significant role in their lives. I always tell moms, give yourself a break. It's always going to be your fault anyway. So why not just do it the way that you want? Like you're always going to be the reason, like that, whatever their perception, their perspective is. So then be the mom and do the things that you want to do. Like be that and do that. And don't worry about anything else because ultimately they're in our lives for that very reason. Like we're their moms in this moment because of that thing. So I really feel we all have that purpose. And our kids are the biggest catalyst to help us grow if we let them, right? We like when it came to James and I had to up my game. Like I had to up my game. Like I had to up my game. My friend, I had to do it. And he's always been the one to push me, right? All of the struggles is what helped me push myself to figure out a better way to do it. So like they can be that catalyst for us to continue to grow. Yeah.
I love that perspective. It's so true. So tell me about this respect reset.
So the respect reset is basically turning your eyes into you and giving yourself the permission to take a moment, really, right? To get off the train, like we were talking, to get off that train of all the things in the schedule and the things. And in the moment when you need a moment, to stop and take it and not let the pressures of everything else dictate that. Like if you need a moment, take it and have the integrity and the honesty with the people in your life, whether it's your husband, it's your children, whether it's your team at work, wherever it is, to say, I need a moment because I need to think about this, or I need a moment to do X, Y, and Z. I need a moment to think. I need a moment to regroup. I need a moment to look at all the information. Again, and that's true with your kids. Like kids always want to have you make that decision. You don't have to make the decision in that moment, right? You just tell them, I need this moment to regroup and give them some parameters. And in that moment, you do what you need to do to be the leader, the mom that you want to be, not the one that's reacting to the environment. Like, so that you're not so reactive that if you have other questions, you have a moment to think, I need more information on this. Where is this thing? And why is this thing? And why do you need it now? So that you can decide and choose who you are for them in that moment. And sometimes it's not what they want, right? My son would always, my older son, like I said, my younger son and I, we didn't have things, but not these things. But it would be like, well, you're like a cop. It's like living with a cop. I said, fine. If that's what it looks like to you, this is how I love you and this is how I protect you. And if you need to see me as that person, I will be that for you because I love you and this is to protect you. And putting it in that context, they didn't like it, but at least I was standing for him in the way that made me feel good about the mom that I was and giving a chance for us to have a conversation about what he doesn't know yet and what he didn't see, like, because they're boys, they're teenage boys, nothing's going to happen to them, right? And my son was a student athlete, and everyone was always telling him how great he was and how amazing he was, and it didn't hurt that he's very handsome. So then he was always getting girls, and even like some milfs were like, can you have your son come do this and take his shirt off? I'm like, no. I encourage him to keep his clothes on, thank you very much. And all the other people in his life are telling these other things, so I got to be that voice for him to give him those lessons. So that's really what it's about. And then making your decision and standing in that for them and being that consistent force in their life for them. And that's what it's about. Because when we do that, we feel better as moms. We feel more in control as moms. We feel like, okay, now this is the way I'm going to run this. And we are not being run and rode and go, 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 and creating that for ourselves and teaching our children, modeling that behavior for them too, so that they don't get lost in the sauce and get lost in all of that as well.
It also helps make them think about it a little bit more too, I think.
Yeah, and giving them permission to be who they are, because that's really what we want in the world. We don't want we can't afford to have people doing the same things. We need creative thinkers. We need problem solvers. We need people to be confident to stand up and say, I think this could go better this way. And whether moms own it or not, we are that catalyst for our kids.
Yes.
And sometimes, kids are successful in spite of us, because of us. Right. But either way, we are a catalyst in their lives one way or the other. Now, doing this way, it's intentional and it's ownership and it's standing in who we are. We have this conversation about my husband a lot because he's always like this one way. He's very not me. He's very like, he doesn't show a lot of emotions. And he always is just like, no. But the kids know that, they expect that, they understand that because he's consistently that thing.
Yes.
And when we can be that consistent, it also creates the rapport with your kids so that when they have the big things, they come to you first. So you're not having to guess and learn of the things. They come to you because they feel that comfortable with you. And then you can have the important conversations. They're not depending on YouTube or their friends or the other sources to educate themselves, that they're comfortable because they know that you'll be honest with them and you'll have integrity with them and you won't judge them, right? You won't freak out. For me, the moments where like my husband thought I was crazy one summer for my younger son because like I know he's having sex. I'm like, I just know he's having sex. And my husband's like, oh, you're making that. I'm like, nope, my mommy foo is on it. I swear, like right now he's with that girl. I feel like he's probably having sex. All summer long, my intuition was telling me that. And so I wouldn't broach this subject with him, but just, I was observant. And literally like at the end of that summer, he came to me and he was asking me about venereal diseases. Now,
No.
oh, yeah. I totally had fun with that. Like, I totally let him think he had a venereal disease because he didn't come talk to me. But he did finally open up to me. And then I got to tell my husband, Mommy Foo was never wrong. I told you he was having sex. I told you. But I got to have that conversation with him and saying, if you don't know that, you shouldn't be having it. And then I got to explain to him that sex is more than just physical and there are repercussions. But that's where when you show up this way and you respect yourself enough to take that moment, that it creates this ripple effect in your family as they grow too, right? Because it's the problems they have, and you know this because you've got the wide ranging kids, the problems they have at 7 are different than 11 and that are different than 15. And what's going on around them with technology and the access to technology as well. I've been training kids for 20 years and the kids are growing up faster. It's like they're hitting puberty faster.
Yes.
So they are experiencing things that physically, emotionally, they're really not prepared to handle. They think they are, of course.
Yeah.
Right. But like that's another side effect that I see. Like they're hitting puberty and they're having to experience and navigate things that parents are like, they're 7, they're 8, they don't even think about that. So when I talk to parents and say, has this been happening? Has this been happening? This is probably what's going on. And they're like, I never thought about that.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
It's true. It is
Yeah.
younger and younger. You mentioned, you didn't say it this way, but I'm going to say it this way. You mentioned not raising robots and raising children to think on their own and be independent, and especially with all the societal expectations. How does respect tie directly into confidence and leadership for moms?
So it's the first person, recognizing that the first person you lead is yourself. And when we think of leading ourselves, what do we think about? We have to know, we have to be self-aware. How do I show up in the world, right? Like, what are the things that people love about me, right? Some people are going to love them. Some people absolutely hate them. But being aware, that's integral to who we are, and owning that as part of who we are, and not in the negative way, right? So a lot of kids, like when we, and how to raise kids who listen, I talk about acknowledging the behavior and not making it their identity. So behavior is different than who they are. Like, their gifts are, they're independent, they're courageous, they're fearless. Like, and sometimes with those gifts, they make bad decisions, like sneaking out the window or doing like the. So making sure that we are very clear on the distinction, right? And that we are guiding and leading them to make better decisions, right? And when they can trust themselves to make better decisions, they get confident in doing that. And what I find when I first work with students and families is that they're afraid to make a decision, or they're afraid to voice an opinion, right? So one of the biggest things we do is like, what did you learn? Like, or what was great about that? Or how is that important to you? And giving them a space to, like, I call them the non-answer answers, like, to be respectful. Well, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
To always respect. And what does that mean? Like, to really help them dial it in for them. Like, what does that mean to you? It means a little different to all of us. We all have different values and different principles, but dialing it in so that they're leading themselves, they're aware of themselves and all of the good things, knowing that the good things lead to better things, right?
Yeah.
That's the first part. Yeah, that's the first part. Giving them that creativity. I think that's one of the things that my students struggle with the most is, I'm going to teach you the framework, and then I'm going to say, okay, the goal is not to get punched in the face. Now, I've taught you all these things to not do that. Now do it. And they're like, right? And so, like, that tells us how spoon-fed and how our kids, the next generation, is like accustomed to just getting everything spelled out for them. And that's not going to serve us as they grow. And so that's where the respect and the confidence comes in, when we create that space to make them aware of how amazing they are and what makes them amazing, and how to appreciate the awesomeness in each other, right? Then that leads to respect. Then that leads to allowing. Then that leads to them not being afraid to ask for help, being confident enough in who they are to say, I need help with this, right?
Yes.
And not being afraid to do that. That's so important. That's so important. And like you said, in the social pressure, in this world that we live in, where everyone only puts their best life out into the world, like, that's not real. That's not real.
Oh, no. I am. Being that I have a teenager, yeah, he's not a toddler anymore, but a young boy. I'm around a lot of teens, especially female teens, and it always breaks my heart. I've seen it for years. I've seen it multiple times, and the ones that stand out to me the most are the ones that break my heart. Like, there's a lot of great stories in there, but it's the ones that are like, oh, I love your nails. I wish I could go get my nails done. And I'm like, okay, well, is it financial? Like, your parents saying you have to work for it and pay for it? Like, whenever I go in, I get really anxious. It gives me anxiety. Like, what if they're talking about me? And all I can think of is that goes back to the adults in your life, whether that be your parents or another role model of some kind. Those people who you're around aren't aware of their confidence, of their leadership, of their role they're playing in your life. And now you've, as a child, as a youth, have snagged onto this identity that you need to be anxious about going to get your nails done, instead of being excited and owning it and walking in like, I want my nails done. It's who I am. Like, give me
That's right. That's right. Give me the great. Yeah, give me the good colors. I know. Yeah, and it's so true. And I think, because I've had the honor of training I'm in my family, all boys all the time, all testosterone. Like, I'm surrounded by testosterone. So, and then I'm in a martial arts industry where it's mainly like a lot of boys. Everyone brings their boys. But I've had the honor of training some girls for, 10 years now, 12 years now. So I've watched them start at Lydia, who, when she first came in, when she was 6, hid behind her father's legs. Now she teaches, she's a ballerina, and she's on the debate team, right?
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and then Marianne, who came in when she was about the same age, and she was just always super shy, to watch her evolve into this powerful confident instructor and leader, right? But they both, where are they on now? They both around 9, 10 started coming to me and saying, I have anxiety. And I was like, when
What?
did that happen? Because last month you didn't have it. So like, is it contagious? Because I don't want to be, I don't like, no, Master Hub. I'm so how did you just come to this determination that you have this thing? And I think it's become cool to have an identity of a disease, kind of, as I watch them, because it happened to the young men too. That they like, I'm anxious. Oh, what did Lydia tell me? She was like people anxiety, and then boys just rather like the being a man and not understanding that. But it's like it's become what you had to do, and that was, I think, a result of the people that they were around, right? Just saying that, oh well, it's not me having to learn a new skill, or it's not me having to improve how I communicate. It's, I have this thing, and it's because, and now I need medication. I think it's kind of the mentality of society. So I will say I've definitely seen that happen. But I will tell you, in my school, when my student Marianne, she was in the middle of assisting with a class and said, I need to get off because I'm having an anxiety problem. I said, that's fine. But if you step off this mat, you will never step on my mat again as an instructor, because in this moment, it's not about you, it's about them. And if you can't make it about them, you can't come back. And she never had a problem in my school with anxiety again that she couldn't push through, because she learned. I told her, it isn't about you. It isn't about me. It's about what we're creating for the people in front of us, right? And helping. Yeah. And so I feel like we're not giving them the tools, and they're simple tools. It's just, it's things that we learn, in fifth grade, like, raise your hand when you have something to say, like, be nice to the person next to you, focus on other people instead of ourselves, that create that. So yeah, I think that's definitely become a trend. And it's sad. You say it's sad about that. I see the 3 and 4 year olds that used to come into the school came in fearless.
Yes.
And now they come in with like, I don't think I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 3 and 4 year olds. And so that tells us it's a culture that we've created.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and they hate it. And I tell them I don't care, because if you don't believe it, I can tell you all day, but if you don't believe it, you're not going to believe it. So I make them say it as part of like our moves. Like, I am amazing.
Love it.
So that they can hear it.
You hear that, ladies? Now when you say your morning affirmations, I want some like jabs in there, okay?
I'm awesome. I am the smartest woman in the room, right? And teaching them that, and I tell them, your brain believes what you say. So we're going to say some different things. And then I make them do it. And the new students are always looking around like, is she serious?
On here.
Are you crazy? And the students I know, they're like, oh, okay. And then they do it. But yeah, it's something we need to be aware of as leaders and moms and family members. And once we're aware of it, then we can start helping each other combat it. Then we start hearing it. Then it starts making it through our filters, where we're like, oh, I didn't hear that before. Now I hear that. And then helping them say, no, we're going to do this, or helping them rephrase it, giving them something simple as to say, yet. I always say, yet. I'm not good at that. And I say, yeah, today's your day, right? Today's the day we start getting better at it, and just helping them learn how to make those conscious reframes of what they're saying to themselves by introducing words like yet, or not today, but tomorrow, right? I can, I will, and teaching them to just see what was good about what you did do.
Yes.
Like, this was so great. Like, and that's where we as moms can come in and be like, yeah, you got to see, but what was great? Like, what is good about this seed? Like, what was easier, in helping them internalize those so that they can step into and go, oh yeah, because last time I did this, that was harder.
Mm-hmm.
And really helping them see their progress. Again, I think we're in a place where everyone's looking for perfection. And that's never how we grow. The beauty is in the failure, right? It's in everything. And I tell my kid, like, that's why we have Viagra. That's why we have Post-it notes. Like, these are the failures are the reasons we have these great things in our lives. So it's not bad. And helping them really step into that moment. But we can't help them if we're not helping ourselves, right? And we got to, get the gloves off of our hands and stop beating ourselves up for coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yes.
All the things that that we're not. And it's okay, right? It's okay that, like, I think of all the moms are trying to be everything to everyone, and that's why we're not succeeding. But when I can And my son's in-laws and his mother-in-law is a perfect example, I think, because she is the opposite of me. She's worked, but she's mainly stay-at-home mom, and the what she's created in her family is so amazing that when my son became a part of that family, it helped him in ways that I never could. Right? Because I didn't come from that family. I got disowned from my family when I was 18 because I chose my husband and I chose to have my son. So, like, I didn't have that. So I couldn't teach that. So the fact that she did and she could, that's where I think we're missing the boat. Like if we all just going, I don't have to be like these people. I can just be me, surround myself with people not me, so that as a collective, we've got like the go-to people to help teach the things that we're not naturally good at
Yeah.
so that we can all learn. That's the beauty of it when we self-lead and we have that respect reset because we're not afraid then. We're not judging ourselves. And then you can make that choice. If you've got people who judge you, then they're probably not your people, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's just fine.
Yeah, that's just fine. But I think that's the beauty of what we're missing with all the connectedness in our world right now. Like we have access to amazing women across the planet doing amazing things, being amazing things. And we just got to stop being afraid to like step into them and say, "Hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me be this? Or can you help me with this piece of this? Because that is not my gifts and not my thing, but it's necessary part of what we do."
Yep. And I mean, the worst case scenario, they say is no. 9 times out of 10, they're probably not, and you won't know unless you ask, unless you put yourself out
Exactly.
there.
How often do you tell people no when they ask you for help?
Never. I mean, I tell my
Ex
child that I'm not doing his homework for him, so that's going to be the one no probably.
Boundaries are a different conversation.
It could be, especially as a woman. No is a very hard word. I'm not saying say yes to all the things, but like if someone's genuinely asking you for help,
Mhm.
you say no. You're right. You really don't. But
You really
the
don't.
hardest part that we have today is actually asking for the help. And I read somewhere. It's not my quote by any means. But if you do struggle with asking for help, just for asking for things that you want or need or whatever else, next time you're at a restaurant or next time you're on a flight, ask for something extra. Whether it be
Mhm.
instead of just the cup of Sprite, ask for the can. Ask for an extra side of something. Push yourself with that ask, especially if you're having a struggle asking for what you need help with. If you can't ask for that, then start with the basics because something you need help with, you need to be asking because otherwise you
Yeah.
step.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're probably like me. I feel like you're like me. If I can't do it, I give them someone I send them to someone who can.
Mm. Yeah.
Right? I physically can't because, we do have to set boundaries, but we're going to find someone that can still support them or give them some situation where we can support them. But I love that because the asking and being able to ask is all with respecting yourself first and leading yourself first. Because when you respect who you are, then that self-worth increases. And then we believe that we are worthy of it, right? That we're worthy of it and that we have something to give in exchange for it, right? When we can acknowledge what makes us awesome and what makes us amazing and what makes us unique and the great people that we are, whatever role.
Unapologetically ourselves.
I love it. Exactly. I love the title of your podcast because unapologetic is so, I love it. It's just like, yeah, you know,
Yes.
yeah, because we need to stand firm in that and own what we're here to do, what we're here to do, whatever that is, in whatever capacity, whatever role, it's all important. It's all important. And that's really like the big deal for me. It's all important.
Nope, it is every last bit of it.
Yeah.
So, for our listeners, if there's someone out there who feels like they've already lost respect in their household, they're just kind of burnt out and they're tired and they've tried all the things, what encouragement would you give them to start resetting it?
Would start with the reframe of you're not there to manage their behavior. You're there to lead them and to show them the better way. And that's what I would say. Like start seeing the role that you play. See yourself as the leader of your household, right? Because moms are the crux. And choose how you want to show up. And it's like with the asking of the can, it's starting small. When you see the behavior, don't try and manage the behavior and control the behavior. Say, this is our family standard and give them the space to meet the standard their way. Sometimes we get caught up in the way things are done, right? Instead of making sure the thing is done. So if it's become a struggle, I would look there first. Am I trying to manage their behavior, or am I giving them the space to figure it out? And no, it's not going to be the way that you would do it. It's not going to be like you want it. And that's okay. Like they are not going to get to learn until like we create that. So stop yourself from redoing it, right? If it's not anywhere near what you wanted or needed, then that's your opportunity to teach. That's your opportunity to say, thank you for getting it done. Next time, could you do this way? One thing each time to get them to improve. That's what I would say. Because until you reposition your mindset on who you are in your family, you're going to be the behavior police. Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants to be that at all. That's no fun. That's a horrible place to be.
It is.
It is.
Tracy, thank you so much for reminding us that leadership in our homes isn't about yelling louder or doing more, because we try it all, right? But it's about presence and confidence and respect, not only for our kids and our family, but most importantly for ourselves. To everyone listening, whether it's your kids or your team or even your own inner critic, you can reset respect today. You can be heard, and you can lead like the queen you already are. If this conversation empowered you, share it with another mom who needs it, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more powerful episodes and practical tips and tricks just like this one. Until next time, remember that your voice has power. Your leadership matters in all areas of life. And respect, that starts with you. Bye.
I'm showing up as the woman I was created to be. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be real. One woman's courage gives another permission. I'm done waiting for someday. My time is now. I'm walking in faith, not fear. God's plan for me is bigger than my fear. No more hiding who I am. This is the real me, and I'm not apologizing for her.
Thank you for tuning in to the Unapologetic Podcast. If today's episode fired you up, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new one. And hey, leave a quick review, or sharing this with a friend helps us reach more women who need this message. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and keep living unapologetically.